This advice is not a request. It is an instruction. Stay at home, protect lives, and then you will be doing your part.
Have put up with all kinds of restrictions and hardships, regardless of their medical or family requirements, people not going to funerals, people not even going into hospital when their kids have been having cancer treatment. Why are you so different? What those people, I think, see here is that there's one rule for you, one of the most powerful people in this country, and there's another rule for them. Don't you think you, at the very least, owe them an apology?
I don't think I'm so different, and I don't think there's one rule for me and one rule for other people. As I said, I think that I looked at the. I knew what the guidance was. It talks about exceptional circumstances with small children, and I think that in all the circumstances I behaved reasonably and legally, as I said.
This advice is not a request. It is an instruction. Stay at home, protect lives, and then you will be doing your part.
As I said.
But people will be listening to this. For days, government ministers have obfuscated about whether you went to Barnard Castle, no information put out. This is meant to be the people's government, isn't it? But you've badly misjudged public mood on this. This hasn't damaged the Prime Minister. It has undermined your policy, and it's undermined public confidence in the government. It could even now threaten public health if people decide that the rules don't matter. How can you even countenance at the moment staying on and not resigning?
As I said, I think there is understandable anger, but a lot of that anger is based on reports in the media that have not been true, and it's extremely regrettable. But the media that were reporting some of these things that were wrong were told that they were wrong, but they reported them anyway, and that has caused a lot. A lot of anger. I know a lot of people have shouted at me in the street. Why did you go back? Why did you go back to see your parents just because you wanted to? But I did not do that.
This advice is not a request. It is an instruction. Stay at home, protect lives, and then you will be doing your part.
Can I just ask you one more thing? You went 260 miles, you didn't stop, but you didn't think that you ought to check with the Prime Minister, knowing how that might look when we were at the height of lockdown and we were all being told not to go anywhere and to stay at home and to self-isolate if we had COVID. I know you have circumstances, but how could you not even check with your boss?
Well, as I said, I think that's a very reasonable question, and I think a lot of people would say that I ought to have called the Prime Minister about it. But all I can say is what I said earlier on about what my state of mind was at the time. He himself had just tested positive hours earlier. He was ill. He was upstairs in number 10 in bed. He had a million things on his plate. We all had a million things on our plates. We were trying to do lots of things. One of the things I have to decide every day is what to bother the Prime Minister with and what not to bother the Prime Minister with. And the honest truth about my job is that there are endless problems all day long, and I can't go to him all day asking him, what do you think about that, this, what do you think about the other? Otherwise, what's the point of having people like me around? I have to get on with things. I have to make decisions, and sometimes I do the right thing, and sometimes I make mistakes.
This advice is not a request. It is an instruction. Stay at home, protect lives, and then you will be doing your part.
I should stop now, but in retrospect, you wish you'd checked with him first.
I don't know is the honest truth about that particular thing. Maybe I should have done, but I have to protect his time. There are lots of really big issues that the Prime Minister's time is just about the most valuable commodity that exists in the government. So you have to be very careful about what you go to him with and what you don't go to him with. And I have to make that judgment literally dozens of times a day. And I made that judgment in a very short period of time in very extreme circumstances. And as I said, I thought at the time it was the right thing to do, but I also completely understand if people think it was a mistake and that, in fact, I should have spoken to him about it. And as I said, I did actually speak to him about it a few days later, but neither of us can really remember exactly what I even said because we were both in pretty bad shape.
This advice is not a request. It is an instruction. Stay at home, protect lives, and then you will be doing your part.